Hi, I'm Meredith Carter, and I'm a volunteer for New Life Refuge Ministries. I'm the Director of Education. Education is one of our missions because it's important that the only way we can stop this travesty is to shine the light on it. And we do that, we can educate our community in numerous ways. One of them is we speak to organizations. If you have an organization and you would like for us to come speak to you, go to our website and fill out a request. We also work with law enforcement. We work with nurses, counselors, teachers. We want to educate the community to know what are the signs of someone that's being trafficked. We also educate students in groups. We've been asked to go to numerous schools. And we like to educate children. It's so important because we want them to recognize what those tricks that traffickers use are, so that one, if they're in that situation that has those red flags, they'll be more aware and they can talk to someone about it. Also, maybe they have a friend, and if they don't know what trafficking is, they're not going to recognize some strange or different behavior that's happening with their friend. So that is so important to us to educate and to just shine the light on this darkness to end sex trafficking.
Hi, my name is Kate Bean, and I also volunteer with New Life Refuge Ministries. I serve on the executive board as the secretary, and I also volunteer with our Juvenile Detention Center outreach. Twice a month, we go into the Nueces County Juvenile Detention Center and present a program to the girls called Traps of the Trafficker. And just like the name implies, the entire purpose of this program is to educate the young ladies on some of the tactics that traffickers use to lure their victims in, so that the girls are aware and can watch out for themselves, can watch out for their friends. But then it also helps to identify some young ladies who are victims and maybe didn't even know it. When we very first started going into the detention center about 4 years ago, maybe once every 3 or 4 months, we would have a young lady who identified as a victim of trafficking. Now, almost every single time that we go in, at least one young lady, if not more, identifies as a victim. I don't know if that's because we're doing a great job raising awareness and so people are educated and know what it is, or if it's just that it's on the increase. But regardless of what's going on, that tells that New Life Refuge Ministry serves a vital purpose in this community. There's a real need here. One of the first times that I went into the detention center, we were introducing ourselves, just defining what trafficking was. And a young girl, maybe 15 years old, raised her hand to ask this question. She had an older boyfriend who was 28, and she said, if your boyfriend makes you have sex with men to help pay for the rent, is that trafficking? She had no idea that what was being done to her was even wrong, that she was a victim of this heinous crime. And we find that a lot. And so that's why we continue to go in to the detention center to educate these young ladies for themselves. And so they also know the red flags in case maybe a friend suddenly has an older boyfriend who's buying her all these expensive gifts, but asking her to do some things that she's not comfortable with. And while I'm at it, and I'll put a plug in, that right now we only have an outreach to the girls. We would love, if there are some men listening to this who would like to join us and go in monthly to reach the boys. Boys are being trafficked here too. And if you want to come on board to join us in this ministry, talk to me, talk to Meredith, talk to Minta. We would love for you to be a part of ending the demand and ending trafficking, both here and all over the world, just like Meredith said. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. This work is vital, and your support is vital.
Part of the mission of New Life Refuge Ministries is to provide a refuge of hope and healing for child survivors. We currently have a 57-acre campus with one fully operational home and a master plan of 7 homes. The Home of Hope campus is a refuge for child survivors of human trafficking who are referred to us through Child Protective Services and juvenile detention centers. Our model of care is to promote normalcy in the lives of those we serve. Our model of normalcy includes loving house parents who are supported by awake staff at night. The house parents live in the home and are there throughout the day to help the girls process through their trauma in times of need, as well as help them with their daily activities such as chores, meal preparation, school, and life skills training. Like all parents, the parents take them where they need to go, such as doctor's appointments, individual counseling, and to fun activities too. Part of our specialized care includes group therapy and on-site schooling. Thanks to various partners in the community, we have been able to truly enrich the girls' lives by taking them to the Texas State Aquarium, having them participate in the case-based contemporary art camp, go to Fun Trackers, and the YWCA. What a blessing our partners are. Normalcy is also promoted through participation in church and youth groups. The evening time is also spent promoting normalcy with family movie nights, game nights, free time, or one-on-one time with a parent. One of the therapies that we have noticed a huge impact from is our trauma-focused equine-assisted psychotherapy. Through this therapy, the girls make a connection with the horses, which helps to build emotional awareness and coping skills, translating into an expedited healing time. While we are very proud of the success of our girls' home and are excited to continue our efforts there, we are also anxious to address the needs of boys who have survived human trafficking. In the United States, there is only one home for boys. That is why our next home will serve boys, as it will be the second one in the country and the first in Texas. We know this is a pressing need, as boy survivors have been identified in our local juvenile detention system. We are blessed to have enough space on our campus to separate the boys' home from the girls' home. We will be breaking ground on our boys' home soon, but at this time we lack the funding to bring it to completion. Corpus Christi has been a frontrunner in so many areas fighting child sex trafficking. We can also lead the state in providing the first boys' home. Thank you so much for your interest and support in this ministry as we work together to end child sex trafficking.
Hi, I'm Brad Scott. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge for Homeland Security Investigations here in Corpus Christi. Human trafficking is a major priority for not only Homeland Security Investigations, but all our local and state law enforcement partners here. We have recently, in the last couple of years, started a human trafficking task force, which is made up of local law and federal law enforcement, state law enforcement agencies, but also members of the community, rehabilitation facilities, hospitals, anything just to reach out to so we can address the human trafficking and help the victims of this horrific crime. We couldn't do this without our partnership with New Life Refuge. They have recently completed a facility where it can take victims of human trafficking to house them, feed them, and they're in the preparation of looking for males now. And this is huge in our fight against human trafficking that allows the avoidance of re-victimization of these children. Couldn't do it without the partnerships that we have in this community.
New Life and Menta more, I want to make a big emphasis, and that is the basic idea of human trafficking. These two, Menta and New Life, have done more to bring awareness and education to anti-human trafficking. You know, a lot of folks don't believe it's real. They think, oh, that only happens in big cities and big areas. No, it happens all over the place. New Life and Menta and I got together from 2009 until today, and we have worked together as a team to make sure folks across the state, across the region, across the nation understand that this is a real issue. And there's no place for it in Texas. Anti-human trafficking is real. But New Life Refuge and Menta, and as you notice, I say both of them because to me they're both tied together. They have done a great job on coming to Austin, working with me and other legislators to get laws changed that make sense. You know, sometimes we talk about anti-human trafficking and all I hear about are sound bites. We don't need sound bites. We need the laws that work. And New Life and Menta have stepped it up to the point that folks now in Austin, now in the capital, are doing everything they can to do and make and create laws that help victims, help families, find places for them to stay, as well as coming up with laws that crack down on human trafficking. We don't need it in Texas, we don't need it any place, but Texas needs to be the model for setting laws and setting foundations so other states can follow.